Going on? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna be right with y'all. Give me 1 second. Listen, the title of the video: Scam African spaces should be left alone. Listen, FBA media, FBA people who identify as FBA, leave the scam African spaces alone. I'm gonna explain. Give me 1 second. Hope everybody's doing well. We in the building. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna be real brief. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to be brief. But let me fix my camera real quick. Boom. We in the building, man. Hey man, I've been busy. Uh doing a lot of editing videos and shooting videos and shooting content. I hope y'all are well, man. I hope everything is going good for y'all. Y'all know we got these holiday seasons. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of money being spent, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Look, man, I was in a scam African space the other day, right? It was a dude named Psychopatheus. A dude named Psychopatheus, right? Now, I don't know who he was in that chat, but it was like 10 dudes in there, right? And my voice is still a little messed up because as I was listening to the stream, I decided I wanted to jump in because I heard him talking about some things on there that was just ridiculous. When it comes to foundational Black American topic, when you tap into these Pan African stations or channels, and that you hear him talking about FBA, the shit just be totally ridiculous. Let me tell you, man, and I'm just being fair, right? A lot of these streams I tapped into, I went in with an open mind and an open ear. I'm like, maybe these dudes are gonna say something that's correct or say something that'll make me think or something, right? I haven't heard anything. All I've heard is ridiculousness, right? So anyway, I go into the space. I go into this guy's Psychopatheus. I go into his space, right? And something told me, right? Something told me, do not try to go in here and be intelligent. Do not try to go in here and be civilized. Because it was like 10 dudes in there. They was all yelling at each other and yelling over each other. So I went in there and I immediately just started getting ignorant. I immediately started yelling at the top of my lungs. I start yelling like a madman. I start screaming on them. And the crazy part is they entertained me for about 2 hours. I yelled for about 2 hours straight. And they entertained me for about 2 hours. And they responded to me. You know what I'm saying? Any sane platform would have kicked me off. But these were a bunch of scam Africans, right? They were on a 24-hour marathon stream. I lied to you not. They had the stream up for over 10 hours talking about foundational Black Americans. So I went in there screaming. I went in there yelling at the top of my lungs and just venting, just letting them know because there is no talking intelligently with these people. There's really nothing to say to these people, man. At this point, everybody needs to just stay out of that shit, man. Stay out of their spaces. Let them do what they do. Another thing I realized is that most of them in these Pan-African spaces, most of them are not of the lineage. Most of them are not of the lineage. Most of these guys are undercover tethers. They don't want to come out and say where they from. And I don't use the word tether like that. But in this case, I will, because they were extremely disrespectful. But a lot of those guys in these Pan-African spaces, they're not of the lineage. That's why they fighting for this shit so hard. They're fighting for Pan-Africanism so hard. You dig? Another realization I came to, right? I came to a realization. And what I said the other day was these Pan-African spaces are representation of the Pan-African community. And what you see when you go into these spaces is chaos. You see chaos and mayhem. Dudes talking over each other, people cussing each other out. Just a bunch of chaos, right? But I thought about it. Today, I actually thought about it. I'm like, you know what? These are a bunch of tethers in here. That's why they can't fucking get along. It's a bunch of tethers that they can't get along, bro. Like, think about that for a minute. You go into these spaces, even the conscious community as a whole. Look at the conscious community as a whole. I want you to think about this. The reason why the conscious community has been so destructive, right? And it's been so chaotic. It's been so chaotic because it's a bunch of different tethers. They don't know how to come together. They don't know how to build nothing. They don't know how to actually have unity. Look at the debate scene. All they want to do is debate. And the audacity of these dudes to tell us that we're causing division. Hold on. Oh, we're causing division. Have y'all checked out the conscious community? We're causing division. How? You got Israelites over here. You got atheist, the black atheists over here. Muslims are over there. Nuwapian nation over here. The Comedics are over there. And they talking about we. They're saying we are causing division. Man, we can go back 15 years worth of conscious community content, and we can check out the division. You dig? I wanted to just come on here and let y'all know, man, look, I'm done going into these spaces. You know what I'm saying? I have no desire to try to explain to these people anymore. I started off wanting to educate because it's a lot of miseducation. But I realized these dudes, they do not want to learn. They do not want to understand. They are totally against this delineation. One, because a lot of them are not of the lineage, right? And two, because a lot of them are haters. They got hate in their blood, like they real deal haters. And you cannot talk to a hater. You can't reason with a hater. It's dudes on there talking about the Hidden History Museum. And I want to say this to every Pan-African, Scam African, anybody in the conscious community that talks about the Hidden History Museum. The only way you could talk about a man's museum is if you have a museum. You can't talk about a man's museum if you don't own a museum. That's like me, right? That's like me riding up in my car. I got a Chevy, and I'm telling this man about his Mercedes. Like, that Mercedes that's not the one, man. That's not the V12, man. Nah. That's not the one. This is what it's like when you hear people talking about this Hidden History Museum. I want to just say this to the media, FBA media. It's pointless. Don't go in these spaces no more. Bring them over to our space. We have we allowed them to put the spotlight on us and interrogate us. Now it is time to interrogate them. We're going to put the spotlight back on them. Okay? I'm not going into they can come over here. If I catch them in an FBA space, I'll deal with them. But now it's time for them to come over here and answer to us. You go on these panels, all they do is cut you off. You dig? All they do is scream and holler, and you can say something that makes all the sense in the world, but they will not acknowledge that. They're not playing fair. They are dedicated to misunderstanding what's going on. And I'm done with that shit. We ain't got nothing to prove. We have nothing to prove to these people. You know what I'm saying? We don't need their approval. We don't need their cosign. You know what I'm saying? Let them sit over there amongst other tethers, even the ones that are of the lineage. Let them sit over there with the tethers and find out what we already know. You dig? But it dawned on me, no wonder the conscious community has been dysfunctional. It's because it's full of tethers. And you dig? And the mind of a tether is, and I don't use that word often, only when it's necessary. The mind of a tether is scamming. The mind of a tether is scamming, right? Getting over, right? The mind of a tether is to be an imposter. How many imposters do we know in the goddamn conscious community? How many scammers do we know in the conscious community? How many PDFs do we know in the conscious community? Huh? So yeah, man, it's pointless, man. It's pointless to even go over there into these spaces. They can come over here and get some of this work on our terms. Other than that, there's nothing really to talk about. So I wanted to drop that off, man. Big shout out to the FBA media. I don't really consider myself FBA media. I come on here to vent. I come on here to talk. And I come on here to communicate with others every now and then, get my point across. That's it. But shout out to the FBA media, man. If you are FBA, man, support FBA media. You dig? Go check out their channel, subscribe, like, leave a comment. You dig? But anyway, I might come back later on this week with some topics. We got some new developments in the Diddy case. Cassie's being served. They about to serve her up. They're trying to serve her papers because she's about to get that money took. You dig? True North says, Africa is an African space. You should check that place out. Africa. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know what that means. I really don't. But now I'm good right here, brother. I'm good right here. I saw, y'all know who Duke O'Shea is? Duke O'Shea Jackson. Duke O'Shea Jackson is telling us about his experience in Africa. He's in Africa right now. Okay. He's telling us about his experience in Africa. You dig? Big shout out to you, True North Prep School. Big shout out to you, bro. Much love, man. Yeah. Duke O'Shea is sharing, he's been sharing his experience. He's in Africa right now sharing his experience. And what he described is what I just described about the conscious community. You dig? Chaos. Chaos. Scam activity. You dig? Of course, not everybody, not all places, but for the most part, majority, most part, it's a lot of scamming going on. You dig? But big shout out to y'all, man. I'm out of here. I'm gonna come back and holler at y'all. Peace.